Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Division Z podcast. My name is Jason.
And I am kcosmic.
And
Today,
ladies and gentlemen, hold on. I am God Zombies HQ, and welcome to your weekly dose of the Division Z podcast with Jason and Cosmic. Take it away.
hell yeah, man!
What
Welcome to
intro.
the show. Welcome to the show. We're glad to have you on.
Absolutely.
I knew I had to get you on the show after last week. You know, like everyone's like, you sound like God Zombies HQ, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get him on the show.
I needed it.
Shoot your shot, man. It was awesome. I really enjoyed the podcast that I listened to last week. Like I said to you guys before the stream started, I think this is definitely the premier Zombies podcast that I've listened to. So I'm excited to be on and excited to see what you guys can do in the future with this.
Well, that means a lot to us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. We appreciate that so much. We've got 2 new followers before the stream even started, I noticed. So thank you for the new follows. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some things to talk about today. You know, the beta's still been going on for Black Ops Cold War. It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
We also have today, I don't know if y'all saw this before the show, but it was literally just like now. The new Pawn Takes Pawn quest was just updated on the website, and they already solved it, and we have an extra day of the beta.
So that's good. Like, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, honestly.
I'm down to play the beta for one more day.
Yeah. I mean, I was honestly thinking, like, this was going to be something for Warzone or something like that. But hey, a surprise to be sure, but a welcome.
Any more free content that people can get their grubby hands on is always a good thing, right? Especially if it's for providing feedback and people that play multiplayer.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you know, obviously the multiplayer community, I wouldn't say they get like the first dibs priority on everything, but like the multiplayer community definitely takes a front row seat in regards to a lot of what, you know, certain content gets pushed out.
Yeah.
And, you know, sort of the not promotional because they're promoting zombies, but you know what I'm trying to say? I'm trying to find the word in my head, but like,
well, I think multiplayer is their market audience. Like, that's like their main source of income, right? So I think the way I put it is that they want to provide a lot of stuff for them. So like, you know, they're enticed to, like, you know, spend more money, right? And then we have, which is probably the next big thing, the zombies community. I don't think there's a campaign community. I don't think there's a campaign, like, people out there that, you know, wow, this campaign.
You just offended like 5 people that are.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, the 5 people that are in the campaign community. But then it's zombies
Well, that's something that they stopped doing a while ago, which is something I wish they would continue. Is that giving player numbers in game for the different modes, right?
Yeah.
That way you can kind of see the disparity, because it's going to be brutal, especially with zombies, compared to multiplayer, of the amount of people playing both. But it kind of helps you visualize why they prioritize things the way they do, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you see,
Turbo, welcome to the chat. What's up,
Turbo's
my guy?
in the chat. Hello.
Yo, what's up, Turbo? What's up, Fazzy and Citrus Sinks and everybody? Thank you for watching. But I think, you know, speaking of like the player counts and the numbers, I think there's a huge opportunity to see zombie player numbers go up catastrophically with this game, because of they're bringing back the old perk system but with a twist. You know, D Machine looks like it's got a lot of promise. And, you know, I genuinely don't think I've seen this much hype for a zombies game in a while, for like some zombie experience in a while. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Black Ops 4 kind of, you know, people are like, oh, that's cool, it's there, but really, I'm feeling the hype. I'm feeling those high energy levels of hype.
I was talking to DK Dynamite in Twitter DMs a little while ago, and I mentioned to him, like, it feels like this is the first opportunity for the zombies community itself to grow since Black Ops 3, right? Because it's ever felt like since Black Ops 3, everything has kind of been contracting and getting smaller. It's becoming more niche. Now we have guys like Tim the Tatman saying, "Hey, I might try the zombies map for the first time in forever this year."
Yeah.
Right. So it seems like the broadening of appeal is generally a good thing, but how they'll actually translate that into gameplay, right? If it's going to be markedly different from Black Ops 4, I guess remains to be seen, right?
Yeah, I think definitely, like I said before, the potential is there, and the new things that they're adding to the game, to kind of cater to the more multiplayer Warzone people with the score streaks, and I saw in the trailer as well, like you kill a zombie and they drop some items, like someone would drop something in Warzone or something. So you have those elements kind of implemented into the game as well. So it'll be really interesting to see how it all works.
Do you guys not mind that, or do you think that's a bad thing?
I'm kind of mixed.
The
like
streaks
it's
the drop.
I'm excited.
Like, well, I can understand how people be excited, right? It's something new. It's definitely like, it's exciting to see what it could be, like, how it's gonna like change the flow of zombies, right? I like new stuff, right? But sometimes that new stuff ends up not working. It sounds really good on paper, but then it actually comes in the game. Like Black Ops 4, right? A lot of the stuff sounded so good on paper, and then it came out, and people just didn't like it.
Right, yeah, for sure. I think I had a buddy of mine going like, "Oh, why the heck do they need chopper gunners and zombies, right? It's so dumb." But it's like, come on, man. It's just stupid fun things that they're adding. Right, like at that point, like I don't know how they're gonna balance it exactly, but it's gonna be interesting and fun. And if people see that normally don't play zombies and they get interested in trying out the mode, like that can't be a bad thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's giving players a new way to play the game.
Yeah,
and that's what we need, more ways for players to enjoy themselves in the game. And that's why I'm really excited for the weapon rarity system as well, to get every weapon to have the potential to be a really good weapon, not just the Helion Salvo every game,
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the reasons I'm most excited about is the weapon rarity system, simply because it gives you things to progress towards, to work towards while you're playing a zombies game. Like, I don't know about you guys, but a major problem I've had basically since Black Ops 3 is it seems like once you get to like round 14, 15, you have all the stuff you want, your guns are papped, you're maxed, you're ready to rock, and you don't really upgrade your quote unquote character for the rest of the game, right? Unless you go down, you have to just rebuy stuff, which is not very fun. This lets you have a method of slowly upgrading your equipment as the game progresses, hopefully a little bit longer than round 14, 15, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, because you could be in round 30 and still, like, upgrading stuff. Constantly doing
stuff. Or you're spinning a box for a higher rarity weapon or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you have all these points, right? That would just be sitting in your, like on your player for so long, but now there's actually reasons to spend them, like on kill streaks. Like that's one thing I know I'll be spending my points on. I had a few thoughts. Do you think it'll replace traps?
Replace traps?
Probably not.
Do you not think?
It's got the potential to do it, but
no, I don't think so, because I think simply in game they're gonna, like, I don't know. I would imagine that Treyarch's like baking in kind of those traps into the environment of the maps themselves. Especially with D Machina using a lot. I see a lot of like electricity themes. I wouldn't be surprised to see another classic electric trap of some kind in that map.
OG electric traps from like Varux and whatnot.
Yeah.
But do you think that that's how the score streaks will work? They'll be points based, because I haven't seen that confirmed anywhere.
I think
the way that I kind of oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. You go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was gonna say the way that I see it kind of working is what they did with like Modern Warfare Survival, is where you have a buy station.
Yeah.
And you can buy the score sheet, you can buy a chopper gunner, war machine, whatever, and then you get to use it. There would probably have to be some kind of cooldown, because if you can just keep buying a war machine every round, or you keep buying a chopper gunner every round, that seems if they want to balance the game, that would be a little bit overpowered.
I'm excited for the guys that go in a chopper gunner, and then their chopper gunner's over, and they're just instantly hoarded by a bunch of zombies and die. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Just get overrun instantly.
Yeah.
Then it would have to be a system like just an attack chopper where you don't actually control it, you know?
True, but I think you probably will control it. I mean, because I had the gameplay of the whole opening the door and the firing and the minigun.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember when Zombies Chronicles came out? That was a problem on Keynote, where you'd go into the PAP and you'd be up in the teleporter room, and then you'd get booped back into the spawn, and the whole map would be just waiting for you, and you'd get insta down.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
Hopefully they give you some kind of immunity or something while you're in that thing.
Yeah, I think they will. I think we'll get like a sort of zombie blood effect or something, where like you'll go in it, and then you won't get attacked, and then you'll come out with it, and then you'll have like literally like 5 seconds to like, you know, regain some control over the situation you're in. And then the zombies are going to be like, okay, we're going to come and get you now.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see how it works. I just overall just really excited.
I had a thought in my head, right, earlier today, right? You know the Hilo and Salvo, right? You know how it's overpowered? Yeah. You know how one of the only reasons it's really overpowered is because of PhD? Like, that's
the gun's pretty powerful by itself.
Yeah, no. But a lot
of the times I don't really run PhD. I just kind of.
But like, you know, for like actual strats, where you're going for high rounds.
No, I get that. Yeah, like on Tag your Coat, and you camp at the bridge of the ship and all that. Yeah, I get that.
I think like PhD is a perk, right? They go like hand in hand together, and you get the most out of the weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking this myself. Do we want that gun to get kind of nerfed and then have PhD, or do you think we have a really good weapon, but the negative to having that weapon is it could kill you quite easily? Because I don't really go for high rounds, right? But I like trying to go for high rounds. Like occasionally I'll be like, okay, let's go for like around 100, right? And then I go online, I look for guides and that, and it's like, okay, the best way to do this is just use the rocket launcher and PhD or something, right?
Well, I think the question is PhD going to be in the game at all?
Yeah.
Or are they going to substitute it to something like a microtransaction benefit of some kind, whatever that system's going to be in this game?
Yeah.
Like a limited time effect. We haven't seen it obviously revealed so far if it is going to be in the game PhD, so that remains to be seen. But I don't know. I think if you want to use that combo, let people use that combo.
Yeah.
People are like at the highest levels. Sure, you guys are using Helium salvos. I can tell you, I basically all my gameplay in Black Ops 4 was from pubs. Nobody's using that weapon, right? So if it's like a kind of hidden secret for the higher tier players to use and understand what the best perk combinations are to how to use it, I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, you know, that's the whole thing about perks too. I think perks are, and I just had a conversation the other day. I remember talking to someone else about this, you know, crutch perks, right? And I made a short little video about this too that I posted, that people constantly talk about crutch perks, right? Oh, Treyarch removed the, you know, Juggernog and all that because they're crutch perks, whatever, right?
Then they give us Dying Wish.
Like, I've never really believed in the concept of it. Oh, that's a crutch perk, because in its own right, a perk is a crutch. So every perk can be a crutch perk. You know, some people, Deadshot is a really crutch perk for them because that's how they like to play him.
Well, and I don't know about you, but in Black Ops 4, Winter's Wail as your tonic is basically a crutch perk, at least for me. Right?
It's, I mean, that one's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys usually use in your tonic slots other than that, right? I don't see, like, that's just...
I mainly use stamina.
In your tonic, really?
Stamina. Yeah, so I can run unlimitedly, and I can run a lot faster for hoarding up zombies and stuff.
Right.
I mean, if I was to use, I wouldn't use Dying Wish because the effect is pretty much useless, right? Like, because you know how Dying Wish is, you get your full health after you come out of that, like you know, stage of invincibility, but you have a specialist weapon. So if you're smart, you'll just, you know, pull out your specialist weapon and you'll get shield. But for me, what would I pick? Really depends on the situation, probably. I quite like Stronghold for when I'm camping. That's quite... I like using that one. I might have to go Winter as well, to be honest, or Stamina Up. I think one of them would have to be the one I put in there because you just get the biggest benefit out of all the other ones.
Yeah.
Because my whole idea when playing zombies is you want to like stack on top of each other as many get out of jail free cards as you can.
Yeah.
And the reason I think that Black Ops 4 and generally like from a kind of casual perspective to an upper tier player perspective is so easy is because you could stack those get out of jail free cards on top of each other quickly
Good point.
and easy. And there's a bunch of them, right? You get in trouble, you've got Wraithfires, the dumbest, overpowerest equipment that we've ever seen in a zombies game, right?
Oh,
if you get in trouble, then you got Winter's Wail, which is just free everything around you, and the effect continues so you can get out of dodge. If you get in trouble, then you've got Anywhere But Here. Just pop that; it's a free thing. You get in trouble again, you got your specialist weapon, and lastly, if you get in trouble, then you have your oh man, I forgot the name of the perk. Going to you just mentioned
Dying Wish.
Going to
Dying
Afterlife. Dying Wish. There it is. So like that's what like 5 things that you can use that in a player. Like if you get stuck, there's just so many tools to get out of sticky situations in Black Ops 4 that it makes it, I don't know, just super easy.
Yeah.
From a kind of casual perspective.
Definitely. Like when they, they of course they didn't add Juggernaut to Black Ops 4 and they divided it up into different sections, I think it works for Black Ops 4. I think if you were to put some of the Black Ops 4 perks individually into Black Ops 3, I think it would definitely be way more I keep saying overpowered, but like I don't really know what other term to use right now, but like it would be insanely overpowered because you'd have Juggernog with Dying Wish, and then you'd have Victorious Tortoise on top of that, and then you would have all these other crazy perks, and then plus double tap, it. I don't know. I just think a lot of the Black Ops 4 perks would work a lot better in Black Ops 3, but at the same time, I could see them being a little overpowered. And honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing some Black Ops 4 perks come back for Cold War zombies, to be honest. I think, in a way, we could see it happening because you have the new upgradable perk system, which that sounds pretty fun. Dying Wish could be the modifier for Juggernog and vice versa, or whatever they decide they want to do. But what do you guys think about this new upgradable perk thing? I mean, we don't know much about it, but what are your initial thoughts?
Well, I think as a standard for zombies, something that it's really needed for a long time, this kind of ties into the rarity system, is something to spend your points on.
Right? Yeah.
Something just to continue that upgrade path throughout the game, keep people engaged rather than like zombies should be about upgrading what you got and killing zombies, right?
Yes.
If you're just killing zombies, which basically what you do after round 15, a lot of people get bored really quick. There's nothing really to work towards at that point. You're just staying alive, right? It's not the impact of those two things, I think, is what makes zombies great, is the constant upgrades and the trying to stay alive. If upgrading perks just gives you another thing to spend your money on, another thing to continue that upgrade path, that's just a great thing. That's something that should have been done a while ago.
Absolutely agreed. We got the Twitch chat right here, right? Words. We got the Twitch chat right here, real quick. Hello, GXT. I see your messages. Yes, I do know about the Pawn Takes Pawn thing. We got got that extra day of the beta. The chat is saying bring back Luna. The chat wants to see Bloodwolf Bite come back. And we got Trace Gears saying the only perk I'd love to see in Cold War is the hated death perception.
I mean, some people have their unique opinions. You're not wrong, but you're not right. It'd be cool to see back. I mean, like if they made it like an upgrade, like if they Deadshot, like I can see them maybe doing that because that's all about accuracy, right? That's all about accuracy and like knowing where your target is. So maybe they could add it in as like one of the upgrades. Maybe I don't know.
I could see that.
Probably not, happening. But like
I think the upgraded Deadshot though at the end of the day would probably have to be.
Well, Deadshot is in the game, right? I'm pretty sure released. Yeah.
The new perk machine. I'm still gonna just fanboy over the new perk machine. It looks so fucking good. Like that's one of my favorite perk machine designs ever. It looks so badass.
Which, speaking of, I would assume that the perk machines on the new maps are going to be stationary, right? Like I haven't seen any indication that they're going to be. Well, also because the designs are so distinct, and every perk in Black Ops 4 looked like it was the same thing, basically.
Yeah.
Right, from the machines. So, yeah, I would hope that they're stationary, just because it adds a little bit of meta to each map. Right, this map has this perk, but this one doesn't. So You got to change it up your strategy a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with Deadshot as well, I could see the death perception thing being a modifier, or just Deadshot dealer like we saw in Black Ops 4.
Yeah.
Just get headshots in a row and you do a shitload more damage.
Yeah.
You got the man on. Yeah, we got him. We got COD Zombies HQ. Which one is the real one though?
I mean, it's funny, right? Because last week I was like, you two are the same person, because like Jason does a pretty good like COD Zombie HQ intro, right? I was like, you are probably the same person. You
haven't heard each other speak at the same time, have we? Not yet. So I mean, you never
no.
know.
I mean, yeah, you could just be a random stranger. Like, who knows?
This voice recording will now repeat in 5, 4.
There you go. The chat literally just said too. COD Zombies HQ just a recorded version.
Yeah.
Yo, this is a pre-recorded stream, guys. This is pre-recorded, obviously. So we're not reading the chat. Actually, we're just predicting.
Yeah. Big brain.
Big brain. Oh man.
Well, I was gonna say on the topic of new perks too. There's specialist weapons coming back in a Cold War. Now, like again, like specialist is another get out of jail free card in terms of zombies. That just it makes the difficulty curve a whole lot lower, because if you get in trouble, you pop that and you're get out of jail free. You're fine. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest with you. I thought they were a little too overpowered in Black Ops 4. I like not having it really in Black Ops 3 in terms of it always being there. It just added that little bit of difficulty that I think is important in zombies. But,
I think adjustments need to be made on how they work. Like, you know how when you use your specialists in Black Ops 4, it knock away all the zombies around you?
Right,
yes.
Yep.
Maybe just get rid of that. So, if you're in a pinch and you want to use it,
I could see that.
There is still some risk of you pulling it out, because it's going to take a second. You're not going to be like completely safe, because the zombies aren't going to go like all like just die around you.
Right, and well, we know from the leaked kind of specialist weapons and their names, we kind of know what they're going to do, right? Like, one's going to have a Winter's Wail effect, one's going to be a zombie's blood momentarily, one's going to be a revive and heal mechanic that's going to be a area of effect based. So we kind of
really, I actually didn't hear about this.
Right, yeah. So we're kind of extrapolating based on the names, but there is the names of the actual abilities that were leaked out there by DK Dynamite and the Gaming Revolution. So we kind of know what they're gonna do, and we also kind of know that they're not going to be really offensive based, right? Like Black Ops 4's were. They're going to be more defensive, right? Reflexive rather than offensive, which is a good thing.
Yeah,
you should be using those when you get in trouble, not to just kill zombies, right? Yeah.
So that's really interesting to me. Like, I've never
just in chat they announced the names of some of them in the official release, but we know about 2 more because of the leaks.
Yeah, like I've never been one to like really talk about leaks and things like that, just because I like to be surprised. But like, that's really interesting to hear about that. We're getting different variations of specialist weapons. When was the?
It was announced in the official release. Yeah, they talked about it at the bottom of their equipment tab on that actual.
Yeah, let me.
Yeah, I think.
Blog.
Yeah, I think I've seen that as well. It was.
They mentioned the healing ability and they mentioned
the classes.
The evasion ability.
Is that not what's good? The classes, yeah.
That's what it is.
I actually don't remember this. I'm gonna try to pull it up again. What was the article? Black Ops Cold War. I'm just gonna search up Treyarch
blog. It might be posted on the COD Zombies Reddit as the first link. It is. Yeah. That was
Okay, so I'll go to the COD Zombies Reddit.
Yeah, it's the second link down from the top.
Damn. And my face looks like I'm in heaven right now. So, like.
Yeah, they said so. They're calling them field upgrades. That's the not specialist weapons. They're calling them field upgrades.
Isn't that the thing from Ghosts?
Maybe.
I think that's what they called them in Ghosts.
Yeah. So they're describing it as outside of weaponry, players can deploy field upgrades as proactive abilities that add another layer to squad-based tactics. So again, they're advertising these as more of like a team-based thing, a class system, right? Like
Yeah.
you said, Cosmic. They say they continue, charge them up by killing zombies, then deploy them in times of desperate need. From offensive buffs, which I assume is just going to be damage bonuses of some kind rather than an actual weapon. They continue to abilities that aid in evasion or healing and reviving. These field upgrades are made to fit numerous playstyles and situations.
Damn.
Yeah, like I completely overlooked chat, that. By the way, that's exactly what it sounds like. It's a World War II specialist.
Yeah.
I was just about to read that message too. That's really interesting.
Well,
damn. Well, now I'm looking forward to that anymore. I either overlooked that or I completely forgot about that. Who's the guest? This is COD Zombies HQ.
Nice to meet you, Aqua.
But
no, it sounds like they've, you know, going from a different path, not just using the weapons, right? It sounds like there might not be so much of a balancing issue here. It might be more like, since it's more like team based, you know, like helping your teammates and that. It sounds like it won't be so overpowered, like you know, Black Ops 4 specialists.
I do kind of wish they would get rid of the evasion one. If it is like a momentary zombies blood like it was in COD World War II, I feel like that one's definitely the best out of all of them.
And everyone will just run that one.
Yeah, and it kind of negates the point of being like a whole team-based thing. That seems like the only one it's for me. It's for me. It's not for you guys. It's for me to get out of trouble. Which, I don't know, kind of ruins the point of this whole squad-based mechanic thing.
Yeah, and you can just use the camouflage to just go revive. Need to go buy a perk real quick, and
exactly, which kind of defeats the purpose of the other one, right?
There's
another perk that's for reviving and healing, but like you just pop your active camo and do the same thing. It makes it a whole lot easier.
I really like the free fire ability though from World War II Zombie.
That was cool.
That
might be what they mean for offensive abilities, right? Like you never know. It is Sledgehammer working on this game too, right? I assume with Raven. So
yeah.
I wonder.
I mean, you got a bunch of studios working on this game. So there's going to be a bunch of cool things, I think.
New, fresh ideas that we haven't seen before. Just put in, you know.
This is mishmash of screaming at the top of your lungs. We need it out in a year. Go. Working from the studios, right? So.
Hey, they're doing a good job putting it out there so far.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got the chat. No way, I love this guy. Well, we love him too. Let's see, one question for HQ. Why did he stop posting Black Ops 4 videos?
Easy. Just because I genuinely lost interest in the content that was being produced. I think one of the things you need to succeed on YouTube is to have a general, like, actual interest in what you're talking about. And that was there for me big time at the release of Black Ops 4. A whole lot of content was coming out, a whole lot of stuff that people were playing about. But for me personally, the content I make on YouTube being more news-based, there's a lot of interesting things to talk about in the game. The developments, the absolute cluster and fails that were happening in Black Ops 4, right? That extended from the blue screens to whatever the cutscene for Classified was, and that whole debacle surrounding that, to the absolute pitiful excuse for a release of Dead of the Night, how they handled that. I think it was post Dead of the Night that at least for me personally, that I just kind of lost interest in it. And I really did hope that would come back with the Ether maps. But with them being remakes and just the content didn't seem as, like, I don't know, what's the word, expansive or as kind of groundbreaking as the DLC content was for Ether and Black Ops 3, wasn't there to pique my interest again. So I kind of just fell back into the shadows and waited to reemerge.
For Black Ops Cold War.
Exactly,
like that quote the Shadow Man says in Revelation. Step out of the shadows.
Basically that, yeah. So that's the long and short of it. But I gotta say, it's really nice to be away for a year and a half almost, and then coming back and seeing the support from people. Posting my last few videos in terms of just the comments and the views and things like that.
Yeah.
So
it's because your videos are good. That's why.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, shoot.
It's because the YouTube algorithm likes me. You play the
algorithm game.
You play the algorithm game every time you post a video, and it's been really nice to be throughout my YouTube kind of stint. So
the algorithm game is
really
like you. Sport. It's like a game of roulette. You know, you bet everything on on 0. You just hope it goes.
Exactly. Yeah, it's basically that.
But yeah, I remember watching a ton of your videos. Just I didn't know what's going on in the zombies. Click on one of your videos and just chill.
Yeah, like you were like the main source for like all my news.
Oh yeah.
Then when I made this channel, that was kind of my idea, right? Like amalgamate all the stuff that other people aren't talking about, right?
Yeah.
Like you guys got guys like Dalek and Mr. Waffle Waffles and in TGR to a certain degree that talk about the big news surrounding zombies, right? Like if you want to. They were there for that. There wasn't anybody talking about like the smaller things, the individual stuff, right?
Yeah.
The stuff that you can't make a full video about, so you got to pack them a whole bunch of different topics into one video to make it actually viable and interesting for people to watch. And so that's where I saw like a little niche open up and kind of wedge myself in there.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely one of the reasons why, like during Black Ops 4, I liked making little update videos here and there about the certain things that would happen, because I like watching some of your videos too is like, oh shoot, I wanna make a video about it and give my thoughts about it. I think it's cool, and yeah, I remember making like videos for like all the operations that would come out for Black Ops 4, like Operation Apocalypse Z and Grand Heist. Oh yeah, so this is the battle pass and here's the content roadmap. I really liked making those videos. I thought they were really cool.
Yeah, just something to talk about, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but
that what it comes down to too is, right, if you're interested in it, if you're genuinely interested in it, then odds are other people are going to be too. So like if it's something that you don't find interesting and you want to just talk about it for the sake of talking about it, it probably won't come across very well, or people will kind of understand that you're forcing something.
Yeah.
So, which I think for me personally is part of the reason that I genuinely like really respect what a lot of the big zombies YouTubers have doing, like Dalek and even TGR. He's been doing it for a long time, or Codename Pizza and guys like that, is because they've been doing it for so long, and it seems like they still have a genuine interest in the stuff.
Yeah.
Which is really hard to do, man. Especially for a guy like Dalek, who's just been covering the game for what, like almost a decade at this point, consistently. Like, and having not lost interest or just to say I can't do this, man, is really impressive.
And like,
gotta have that passion.
I go into Codename Pizza streams all the time, right? Just to watch, and I'm like doing something, right? And you know the passion that he has each time you go into them. Like, you go in there for 5 minutes, he just sounds so happy by what he's doing, and he sounds like he's having such a great time. And I just find it amazing that after like so long of playing the game, that he can still, he still has this.
Definitely, yeah,
absolutely.
And look, at the end of the day, we're covering a niche, right? This isn't something super mainstream.
Yeah,
it is a big niche, right? It's the niche of one of the biggest game franchises there is out there, but it is still a niche. Like, we're not covering Call of Duty, we're covering Call of Duty Zombies. At the end of the day, that's our niche, right? Like, we can kind of maneuver around that, right? And I think that's where you see a lot of zombies YouTubers doing that for the betterment of their channels, is to broaden the audience, right? Because the longer we're a niche is just it kind of limits your reach on YouTube or on social platforms in general. But it's one of the reasons too that you have to just give it to people for sticking with it for so long.
Absolutely, man. It's zombies to me has always been that one game mode that I'll always go back to even if I'm having a bad day or whatever. I know I can just jump on and have fun with one of my favorite things. And I might as well bring content to the table with something that I love to do. And we talked about this last week on the podcast too, because from an entertainment background, I love creating things too.
Yeah.
So to me, it just to me was like, well, why don't I just stream and make videos and make tutorials and stuff? I love entertainment too.
Right. Yeah. And then I definitely feel that in terms of like the amount of content that we get released, and having that out there right at release is really important for guys like that. And the thing with zombies too, it's like, I feel like there's a window, right? There's a window of around 4 to 5 weeks when a new map comes out that there's actual things to talk about that stuff. And after that is when you kind of really got to get creative if you want to talk about zombies, right? Because there's usual dead periods in between those things. So that's usually when I find the most interesting, or some of the most interesting speculative content comes out that I really enjoy watching. But I for me personally, the most interesting times for zombies content is usually around maybe 4 to 5 days after a map is released, when maybe the main Easter egg is solved, but like not everything's solved, and there's still stuff coming out about the maps, and people are still looking for things, and there's kind of minor things being found. That's when kind of the interest is more peaked, because then you know that there's stuff that you genuinely didn't expect would be in the map, while everybody knows the main Easter egg's there, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I love hearing about new little side Easter eggs and little mechanics like that. That's why I like, at the same time, it was really fun to hear, but bittersweet at the same time. The QA test that got fired from Treyarch, and he was just like, "All right, guys, so here's all the stuff that's in the game. You know,
I remember that.
coming back. We're getting a mansion map. There's this, there's that." You know, it was a little bittersweet to me, because it's like, you know, the community didn't like, have that surprise factor. But at the same time, it's like, you know, those are cool little Easter eggs. Like the Viking Easter egg on 9 is one of my favorite little side Easter eggs in Black Ops 4. And
which is one of the things that see, my kind of opinion on leaks is, if it's kind of general, then I like it, as it gives us something to talk about the game, right? Like if we didn't have some leaks that came out years ago, or whatever, whenever they did come out, that didn't reveal exactly how to do things, but rather revealed kind of general details of things to come, that promotes conversation about the game and the content and the mode that wouldn't have been there if those kind of stuff wasn't released. I think that anything that gets people talking about a game mode is a good thing, right? I think that some kind of leaks that promotes exactly how to do things in game that players shouldn't know, that's a bad thing. That's obviously a bad thing.
Agreed. And you know, it's one of those things too where so many people are gonna try to spread, you know, fake news, for lack of a better term, you know, about like, you know, leaks and things like that, and then people start to spread that around, and you know,
it's kind of, I agree with you that that's thing, but the zombies community did start like in whole on the idea of speculation, right? So like if you're speculating about leaks, or like if they're real or not, I can see why that would be like, oh, it's fake news. But on the other hand, it's like this community started based on speculation. Sure, it didn't start based on speculation about leaks, but if you got nothing else to speculate about, then that's basically the core of what this community is from the ground up.
Totally. I totally get that. Yeah. It's just one of those things to me too. Like, remember last year when, I think it was around like Alpha Omega, right? Where everyone was like, Jason Blundell was fired. You know, he's not there right now.
Yeah.
And then that article was just not true. And
we know that something was happening behind the scenes. That
of course,
there's a few things, right? But I don't think he was fired. Like I think
the official response was he was moved to a new project.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He was not affiliated with the zombies directly anymore, or his role of director of zombies, as it were.
Yeah, and then of course now he's actually not there anymore. You know, he left back in February.
I wonder what he's doing.
Good question.
That's a good question.
Because you can't find him anywhere really. Like you can't.
He didn't have any socials or anything like that.
No, like I've looked multiple times, right? Because like I kind of want to see Jason, and you just can't find him because he's not that type of person.
I can see him taking a break from, like, I mean, he was in a pretty high profile role at Treyarch for quite a long time now. True. And I can see how that take a toll on a person. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in a series like Call of Duty with all the ups and downs that comes with.
Absolutely. I definitely, you know, I think Jason Blundell definitely has the chops to be a lead developer somewhere else, you know, whether it be, you know, at Treyarch or not. Maybe he'll make a comeback and go to maybe a different studio that works on Call of Duty. Who knows? Maybe he'll do something completely different. But I definitely feel like he's definitely got the chops to be a developer somewhere.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm looking forward to seeing anything in the future from Jason Blundell. You know, just because he left zombies don't mean we gotta not, you know, see what he's doing.
Although then again, at the same time, Like if Black Ops 4 in the direction that went was his vision for where zombies should go, and evidently Black Ops 4 didn't meet expectations for a bunch of community, then it's nice to see what we're going to see, which is a change of public faces that we get to see in the zombies community, right? So not saying that Black Ops 4 Zombies was a disappointment because of Jason Blundell, but the direction matters, right? Evidently that caused whatever happened later in this DLC season amongst shifting roles and things like that, right? So at least in Cold War now, we kind of see a new changing of the guard, and we'll see how they deal with it.
It feels fresh. Yeah. I think the them actually sitting down and talking. If the 8-minute clip they had for zombies, right? Like we got the trailer, and then they actually went into detail about stuff, and just see new fresh faces talking about it. Just I don't know. It feels like we're going in a good direction.
Right. The only problem I had, and I was really worried about this, especially before Black Ops 4 was announced, and some of the details that people have been talking about publicly and behind the scenes, is that we've kind of lost all our champions for zombies, haven't we? That are in the studio. Blundell's gone. Lee Ross is gone. Craig Houston's gone. So all of our public faces
Craig's not gone.
Oh no, Craig Houston's still there. It's David Cameron.
Sorry, David Cameron. That's who I was thinking.
Yeah.
But all our public faces for zombies that we kind of knew were the lead devs of the mode that champion the mode are gone now. So who's that left there to champion the mode besides Craig Houston, right? But I'm also hearing kind of behind the scenes that zombies is still a priority of Treyarch and Activision, and they are still devoting a lot of resources to it, which is something that obviously for us is a very, very good thing.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We like to hear that stuff.
Who was that guy on the in the reveal? Corey Lemcool, I think is his name.
Corey Lemcool.
He's a developer at Treyarch. He seems to have a important role. It was Corey Lemcool, I think is his last name, and then Kevin Drew, I believe, is another developer. Who,
I think so.
It seems like Kevin, Corey, and Craig seem to be like the three main guys because they were the three that were talking about information during that 8-minute video back on September 30th. So I'm looking forward to see what they have to bring to the table. I'm loving the transparency. I'm loving the
communication
about the game.
Yeah.
Going back to Blundell a little bit, the one thing that was a little bit not bad, but like it got a little old sometimes when Blundell would be like, "Oh, well, that's a mystery." I was like, "Well, I mean, we gotta find a way. We gotta find a way
to
care
us something."
About it, you know.
That's something that was a consistent criticism too throughout Blundell's reign as director of zombies at Treyarch was communication, and that it was lacking at times in terms of not necessarily of like, oh, what's the next map and things like that, but more so issues within the game that people want addressed and to know that things are being looked at and worked on and things like that. That came to a head. That definitely came to a head in Black Ops 4. And I think Mr. Waffles kind of led the lead into the public perception of blue screens and then the negative effects that it was having on the community. And he took a lot of flack from that. And so maybe with better communication, that kind of could have been stalled or curtailed. But we'll see how that works out in Black Ops 4. Or 4, excuse me.
The problems in Black Ops 4, right? Sure, they were bad, but they actually talked to us about the problems there. Like, they give us updates like, "Hey guys, we know there's a bunch of problems. We are really working on it, right?" And we've seen some progress with the fixes in that. That'd be great. I just think Black Ops 4 main problem towards the kind of from the start it was alright, but then towards the end it just was completely gone with the communication. And I think Cold War, one of the things it really needs to focus on is communication. Give us weekly updates, like actual not so much in-game updates, but I mean just news in general. We're working on a few things here and there. There might be we've heard that there's a bug going on. We're going to get that fixed as soon as we can. Just something.
I will say after the big outrage with Black Ops 4 and the blue screens, if you guys remember, after that kind of came to a head, they did start doing weekly patch notes on Reddit.
I was just about to say,
Right, yeah. So they had really good detailed breakdowns of what they were working on, what they were fixing. But again, that only came about as a result of the outrage that existed in the community when Black Ops 4 released.
And I think there was one point too. I forgot if it was. I think maybe it was like the Dead of the Night stream when they actually decided to actually show us what Dead of the Night was about. I think they said. I think they admitted, right? Oh, we had kind of a rocky start, and then that was like all they said.
Yeah.
So,
remember
Corky is the guy's name. Oh, okay, Corky, not Corey.
It is Corky. I'm looking at him right now. Corky Lemcool. Creative studio creative director is his title. So not explicitly zombies related, but obviously he's involved in the process somehow.
Nice. Looking forward.
I don't think there's a director of zombies though. Is there? I don't know if chat remembers, but I don't think there's that. I don't think that title exists anymore.
I think at this point, just because of how zombies is gone, and I think just because he's a veteran, I think Craig Houston at this point would be the director, even if we might not know who the actual director is.
Yeah.
Because Craig has the entire storyline in his head. He can direct people to what's going on and how to do things. So
I think
if anybody, he would be the director.
I think at least he'd be the main face towards zombies. Like,
right. He took on that role throughout Black Ops 4, basically, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the video here, his title remains the same as lead writer. So obviously it's more focused towards zombies, which is interesting. So.
But.
Well, if I could transition here, speaking of Craig Houston and writing, I think it's been confirmed that we're playing as multiplayer operators in zombies, at least for Die Maschine.
Yes.
How do you think they're going to make a coherent storyline while not playing as set characters?
I thought at first maybe they put set characters in, and then you could choose, kind of like World War II, where you could, there's sort of version operators where you can unlock people by doing the challenges. I thought that, but I don't know. Are we wrong? Because people are saying other things, and it's they keep clashing together.
I mean,
the
thing is,
like set characters in the new map, or is it going to be straight from the get-go operators?
See, that I don't think that's been 100% confirmed either way yet, but I'm pretty sure if I recall that you're playing as operators from multiplayer that you choose, similar to how you can play as any operator in multiplayer where there's a million woods running around. I think that's gonna have the same thing in zombies, where you can play as woods and all those other characters.
Yeah.
At least for Die Maschine, we don't know about the other maps yet.
I think at the end of the day, what it comes down to is, it doesn't matter what character you play as you're playing the map. I think once you do the Easter egg and you get the cutscene, the characters that need to be in the cutscene will be in the cutscene. Like World War II, you play as the BAT agent, and then you still got your other characters in the cutscene.
Well, even that is do you need set characters in order to tell a coherent story? Right? Can you make an interesting story in a narrative without having set characters?
I think you could in the context of zombies, just because, I think if you want more of the story, like if you had a set number of characters that you're playing as on the map, they're gonna have their story quote, and they're gonna have whatever as you progress throughout the Easter. If you chose not to play as them, then you won't get the story quotes and you won't get any of that. But you can still do the Easter egg and you can still do all that, and you can still experience the ending cutscene, and you can experience whatever else might be there.
Yeah, if they go for that route, where they're set characters, and then if you want to, you can just run as an operator.
Because the thing with zombies is the core of zombies has always been gameplay. So I think it would make more sense to customize your gameplay experience more with playing as whatever character you want to play as, and then you get the storyline afterwards. And I don't know, like just thinking of stuff off the top of my head, at the Die Maschine ending cutscene, the Easter egg is solved, and you have Sam and Weaver arrive on site or whatever, and chaos ensues or whatever. I don't know, just some random thoughts there.
Well, I think they the way they structure the story too doesn't really need set characters in the form of, if the lore of zombies is that whoever, all these operators operating in terms of the zombies universe, are part of a set team set to do a specific task, right?
Yeah.
You doing the Easter egg is important for the task you're doing, not because of who those people doing the tasks are.
Yeah.
Right. So if you can imagine like a Horizon or something like that, where our characters don't speak, but we have elements talking to us from the map, different characters that maybe aren't visualized talking to us, giving us the story beats. Exactly, that too.
Exactly. I totally get that.
Yeah.
I think, that makes the most sense to me. But yeah, I appreciate the follows, by the way, chat. I see you guys following. Thank you. But it should be very interesting nonetheless. You know, we're obviously agents of Requiem, which that's a cool name, by the way. I really dig that. Got Requiem and Omega Group. And the thing that always intrigued me about what Craig Houston was talking about the storyline was, he said, not all things you'll find stay dead.
Yeah.
That's what I'm curious about.
I wouldn't be too surprised if we see like a threat from before come back, like Dr. Monty or the Shadow Man, like something like that. You know, something that kind of pops out towards the end of like the main DLC cycle of the game. Right. I think there'll be some twist at DLC 3, where it's like I don't know, we'll get like last gen Richtofen come out and cause chaos or something. You know, who knows, right? We'll get something from, you know, Ether, like past Ether.
Speaking of chaos, with that coming to an end, obviously, I did read an interesting. Well, thank God too, but I know, I know some people liked it, but though that being said, I read an interesting theory on Reddit recently of someone saying that with the whole theme of this game maybe being that the elements within the Dark Ether are bleeding into this universe, might be a way for Treyarch to provide resolution to the Chaos storyline without actually having a Chaos storyline. If maybe the elements from the Chaos storyline are also included in that Dark Ether kind of bleeding out into this world, right? Which might explain, if you've seen some of the screenshots of Catalyst looking like zombies from the Chaos storyline, maybe those are mixed with different types of zombies from the Ether storyline, right? That would combine together to form a coherent reason for why they exist in this universe, right? And if they do include that, then through radios or for different little sticks on maps, they can kind of tie up the loose ends of the Chaos storyline for people that were invested in it, right?
That's a very interesting theory. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, so it'll be a way for them to kind of get the best of, or at least what they consider to be the best of both the worlds they created from Black Ops 4 and prior in terms of Ether, and combining them into this melded experience in this new game.
Yeah. Because
hey, it can definitely work. You got Know Your History as one of the slogans for Cold War, and you know, the Chaos storyline had a lot of historical elements to it, the Titanic, ancient Greece, like that. You know, I don't know, that might sound like a bit of a reach because, you know, it's more of a Cold War based game, but hey, you got to know your Cold War history too.
I think Chaos, right, it didn't really hit the mark for Black Ops 4 just because of the way that the content was like put out, and they didn't really give us enough time for the characters for us to start really caring too much. And Dead of the Night as well was a major issue where, like, you know, we've started this new story, and in this new story we've already got new characters, but these events from these new characters don't matter too much because it's a prequel to the first two maps we've gotten, right?
Which, by the way, one of the worst maps ever released, right? Like, is it just me?
It has some good things. Listen. It has some good elements, okay? A lot of the map, from what I hear, Easter egg wise, I've never done the Easter egg, is a scavenger hunt.
It is.
Yeah, it's just a scavenger hunt. Has cool elements. I quite like the werewolf boss. Like, you know, he looks kind of sick, right? The wonder weapon's alright. But other than that, it just doesn't really hit the mark. The characters are kind of annoying. What's that guy called? Godfrey. I think that's the only good one. Is that his name?
Yeah, the butler.
Yeah.
And do you know what the rub on that is? I guarantee that was the most expensive map to make
Yes, because of all the
cats.
Of the whole season, because the cats probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Dead of the Night definitely is. I'm warmed up to it a little bit more than I was before, but I mean the only real good part of Dead of the Night to me is the Alistair's Annihilator. That's one of the best wonder weapons in the game.
Yeah.
The werewolf is all right. You know, it's not a hard boss. I mean, I'd much rather prefer the werewolf over the goddamn Blightfather.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, just the vampires are just such a core part of the map that ruin a lot of the experience. You know,
I get that.
I think it's not as bad as Voyage. I don't really like Voyage of Despair.
It's another one that's
Voyage is kind of whack. Yeah.
The yikes. But yeah, Dead of the Night's vampires really are just a big stain on the map for me that I can't put it above anything like I can't put it above like C tier, right? Like that's the highest I'll ever go for Dead of the Night. Like I can't say it's good, I can't say it's like great, but at the same time I can't really say it's like terrible either because it got good parts to it. It's just okay to me.
But that's the thing, like Trey said in the chat, that's why one of the reasons I think Zombies is so great is because we can have such varied opinions on it. He really likes the map. He likes the charm of the map.
Yeah.
I'm the exact opposite. I really don't like the charm of the map. I find it extremely uninteresting.
And
the fact that we differ in those opinions is great, right?
Yeah,
it means
absolutely.
That it's the reason why when I say that Die Rise is the best map in Black Ops 2 Zombies, that you should be offended. Right?
Yeah.
but really, it is the best map in Black Ops 2 Zombies.
Yeah. You'll be happy. I bet you were happy about the billboards that Johnny J put up.
Yeah.
What
I can't believe that actually happened, though.
We should talk about that for a second. Let's completely move on to this, right? This man had one dream, right? This man had one dream to make a billboard to get his favorite Call of Duty Zombie map remastered outside of Treyarch's, like close to their studio, right? Where they see it every morning because they drive in that direction.
Oh yeah.
And he did it. He just went off and did it.
Crazy.
Right? It sounds like, you think he'd be making it up, but no, he did it.
Well, he crowdfunded it.
Yeah, it was crowdfunded, but at the end of the day, he did manage. He did like him and the donations he got. I think I donated something as well. I can't remember. I think I donated like a tenner or something because I just wanted to see it happen, right?
In the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
That's where the money's going, chat. Fucking Die Rise.
It's like the, I don't know if you saw the Treyarch responses to it, but it was like of the official Treyarch employees.
Yeah, I seen.
Being like,
hey, I didn't see this.
Yeah. Oh, my boss just sent me this. Oh, isn't this great? Too bad nobody's near work, so we only see it through social media. Oh, they're all working from home.
Yeah.
This whole thing started before the pandemic introduced lockdowns and work from home. So it's right by their office, right at the highway exit there.
Yeah.
But no one can see it.
No one at the office. But they still saw it via social media. So I think that's.
I think they got the message on what they need to do next.
That's the most important thing, 100%.
Damn. Hey, you know what? When the DLC cycle starts for Black Ops Cold War, and we get a reveal trailer of Die Rise Remastered, we know who to thank.
Yeah. I think.
Well, all I'll say is that I think DK Dynamite has talked about this publicly, but it could have been a thing if the circumstances were different in Black Ops 4. That's all I think that. Well, in terms of like what people have actually seen of that's all I'll say. That it could have been different if circumstances were different in Black Ops 4. I think DK Dynamite has talked about that a little bit more publicly in terms of Die Rise and how that happened in Black Ops or could have happened in Black Ops 4. But there's proof of, let's say that could have happened.
Yeah.
So it remains to be seen.
Well, I
think they definitely had something on the back burner to try to do something with old maps. I've always been of the mindset where I never believed, and I know it's going to transition into like a Zombies Chronicles 2 thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I never really believed in the concept of Zombies Chronicles 2 just because the maps that were like already available were, to me, like if you were to group them all into one big package of a DLC, it wouldn't be as potent as it would be to, let's say, just completely overhaul Transit and just make Transit one big core upgraded experience, and not have like Die Rise take away from that or Buried take away from that.
Which I think is going to be the direction that they're going from, both from what's been publicly released in terms of like a lot of speculation too, with Victus being involved and things like that a lot of people are speculating about, and also things, of course, that have been leaked and talked about behind the scenes. But the question is this a good thing? Right? Like I've talked about this in a bunch of my YouTube videos that I've released. Do we want it to be Black Ops 4 Zombies Round 2 Electric Boogaloo? Right? In terms of the actual content.
Not really. I want new content.
That's exactly my own thing too, right? Like while getting Transit and Die Rise Remastered is fantastic, we kind of had that same shtick throughout Black Ops 4.
Yeah.
Right? And people weren't that interested in Nuketown Remastered and Call of the Dead Remastered.
I think,
right, when they're a part of a set DLC season.
I think if it was a separate thing, just as like, you know, like I don't think they call it Zombie Chronicles 2. I think they call it like something new, like a DLC pack where you got all these maps remastered, right? Like in what, like, you know, like a Zombie Chronicles DLC, right? I think that would be okay, where it doesn't affect the main DLC cycle. The one map I'd honestly want to see from that is Transit. Like that's the one thing I'd like to see what they could do with it new. Like Buried and Die Rise, like I couldn't really care less. Like they're Buried's
not much you can change.
Yeah, Buried's a good map. Like it's a bit easy, right? But there's not really like a lot of flaws with it. It'd be great to see it back, but it wouldn't be my main focus. I want to see what they can do with Transit, which is an absolute train wreck, and how they can make it good.
And, well, actually, you brought up a good point that I didn't really think about before. In terms of a way that Treyarch can really make a profit, like make money off zombies in this day and age, with the new maps coming out being free.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
A premium map pack, right?
Yeah.
A premium map pack of old content that they can charge a flat price for, that they can recoup some money, right? Zombies Chronicles was the best-selling DLC, COD DLC, I think, ever. I'm pretty sure. Like, especially in terms of monetary, of how much that thing costed and how much it sold, it made them a boatloads of money. I don't see why they wouldn't bundle those remastered maps together again, release it as a premium map pack for Cold War on top of the free content that's being released. With the game, right? Like that would make sense to me, business
totally,
right? But
it could be kind of like this, right? You know how they released Modern Warfare's campaign remastered, the second one, right? And now it's like a separate purchase. It could kind of be something. I would see it as something like that. Like they say that all post content is pretty much free. So I don't know if they could sell it as like DLC, because they come out.
I think they can definitely make it as a premium. If you put it as a pack together, yeah, they definitely could.
Probably have to be a pre-order bonus.
No, not as a pre-order bonus. I think it would be later down the line of Cold War. Maybe after the seasons have died down, they release it as a premium, simply how they did for Black Ops 3, right? In the same way that Zombies Chronicles content wasn't included in the Seasons Pass. I think that they can include this as a premium map pack for zombies specifically to sell to the community. And I think the community would, if the content's there, would gladly buy it.
Absolutely.
With that as well, there's quite a lot of things you could like get with it, Operator Rise. So you could get like the Victus crew. You could get like a Ted skin. You could there's a few things you could get from that, like as well. They could make it like you know, on the shop. They can make it like a big bundle where you get the free maps and then you get a bunch of additional content as well.
Maybe, yeah.
Like,
thanks, Dasty, in the chat. I see you, buddy.
I see you in the chat too.
I think that'd be cool.
That's actually really smart too, because then it kind of makes it appeal also to the multiplayer side or the Warzone side. Right?
I'm gonna buy these for skins.
Zombies content, exactly. Yeah, and you also get some great maps on top of that.
Yeah.
That seems to me like, also, I'm not sure if you guys have keeping up with the videos I post or what's been going on in the community in terms of leaks or things people are speculating about, but there is speculation that content like we've seen from Transit or Die Rise might be making a return in some fashion in Cold War.
Yeah, right? I seen your video. Yeah, I seen your video about it. Yeah,
or Kino in some cases.
Yeah,
too, but it's again something that they could maybe sell on the side, and that would make sense in terms of. And also, it would make sense in terms of not pissing a lot of us off that really want new stuff, right?
Yeah.
That really want new stuff.
My thing is here's how I look at it, right? You know how NAC's going to be to the new zombie map? Just a tiny % of the main actual map, right?
Yeah.
I think if they're going to have maps where like they introduce Kino into like a new map, it has to be sort of that same thing. Like, Kino, it shouldn't be any more than like 30% of the whole map. It shouldn't be the main focus. There shouldn't be a lot in the, like if they were to do that.
Yeah, it has to be. It has to feel like a map with Kino in it, not with Kino with expanded areas.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think I left a comment on your video as well saying that it'd be kind of like, how Nact is the transit. How you can find Nact just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's like that. Like, it's so small that like it doesn't affect new gameplay. But if you want to go that route and go to Kino, you could. They could even make it like, the main map. A lot of players probably wouldn't know how to get to Kino, but like, if you buy certain corridors and go down like an alleyway or something, then you'll come across Kino the Choten, just a rundown version of Kino the Choten.
Which I think is one of the reasons why the remakes didn't feel that remake-ish in Black Ops 3, right? Like, it still felt like Nuketown. It still felt like Call of the Dead, even though there might have been some new areas.
Yeah.
Right? But if this is like, if they're advertising it, this is Berlin, but Kino is part of the map, then I can get behind that a lot more.
Because then there's nostalgia for old players. What they could even do is they could have their main map, and then they could have a spin-off survival map being Kino. So the DLC comes out, and you get the main big map, which is, I don't know, we'll just call it Berlin for now, right? And then alongside that launches a Kino der Toten sort of remake, where it's just a small survival map. And it wouldn't be too hard for them to do, because the map's directly in the game.
Which I think I've seen some people talking about this in terms of leaks, but would you guys think that it makes sense if they're going to implement this with Nacht being in Die Maschine, include a version of Nacht in there as what's a small map from called World War II Zombies? What was it called?
Grossen House.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do like a little Grossen House, right? It's already there.
Yeah, exactly.
Lock it off and make it a Nacht.
Yeah,
exactly. We've seen that with the transit and the subdivisions of that with Busting Foot Town and Farm. Yeah, might as well do it. I mean, again, it's more content, more things for us to do.
Release Die Maschine and put this Nacht version out maybe a few weeks later, right? Just here, take some new content, keep people engaged, right?
Exactly. So what is the chat's popping off here? It says, I think they know they have to please the community with this one due to the failure of Black Ops 4. Since the multiplayer-based people are praying zombies is good, so there's some load off the sweat of multiplayer and plays the zombies. I agree. I hope it has a good launch of the crash of Black Ops 4. Yeah, that's the one thing that Cold War Zombies definitely needs. It needs a smooth launch.
Yeah,
it needs a very smooth launch, so we don't have a repeat of Black Ops 4.
I want to say two things about his message there, and the second part I think is the very last line of his longer message is important, where he says the slow pace of zombies. I think they're directly addressing that, because if you remember, we're starting with whole loadouts, right?
Yeah.
And I think they explicitly mentioned now we're going right into, like, it's going to be hectic off the bat rather than slower pace, which should help draw more people in. And secondly, I know you guys have been kind of keeping in tune with the beta a little bit more than I have. Have people been reporting crashes or any kind of issues with that recently?
I mean, not from what I've seen, but I hear that some people have experienced some just, weird bugs and crashes and things like that. But I actually have seen this one where on that Armada map with the boats in the water, you just get on a boat and then it does that thing where it just launches you across the map.
That's great.
That's funny.
And then you're out of bounds and you die. That's like the one major thing that I've seen. And before the podcast started, actually, I saw on Twitter, Gaming Revolution put on, people are starting to hack the beta.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
People he's ballsy for putting that video up. I'm glad he did it, because I watched it. It was just really interesting. Kind of make it.
See how easy it is, and there's links in the videos on YouTube to show you what you need to download to use it. So if I want to right now, I could type in how to hack in Cold War, find that video, click the link, and then
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like how can what's
why?
Why? It's a beta. Why are you hacking on a beta?
Even on like the normal game too. Like, why you gotta do that? Why you gotta do that?
And also, it's one of those things where Clement said he got 2 crashes on PC. I can actually run on my current PC. I was telling you guys before, and my PC is about decades old. I'm running on an i5 3570 processor, and I couldn't run Modern Warfare. It would blue screen me. It would actually crash my computer every time after about 15 minutes of playing it. So like I'm building a new computer, so hopefully that's not an issue. But it's also one of those things where crashes matter more in zombies than they do in multiplayer.
Absolutely.
You can't just hop back into a zombies game and continue where you left off, right? So that's why it's really important for our community that it's stable.
I was thinking of this, right? I'm so thankful I'm into zombies and not multiplayer, because right now there seems like there's so many problems that they just aren't going to fix because they don't. Well, one main thing is skill-based matchmaking, right? You can't really put that into zombies.
Exactly.
Right.
True.
And I'm like, people are complaining about this. I'm like, yeah, I would complain as well, but my main focus isn't really being affected. So, you know, it kind of sucks for yous, but like, you know, I'm not too affected by this.
Yeah, let's piss off the multiplayer people as much as they possibly can, so they make the jump to cooperative instead of competitive, and they join the zombies wave.
Exactly.
Zombies community gets bigger.
Yeah.
The same with hackers. Like, what can hackers really do in zombies other than like maybe fly on the map? Like, what are they gonna do?
And when they do it, you're like, yay! I got a hacker on my team. Let's do some weird stuff, man.
Like, it's funny. It's funny when that happens.
Y'all remember? It's kind of an older video at this point. Speaking of hackers, there was a relaxing end video.
Yeah.
Years ago.
World at War, the Reese.
Yeah.
The thumbnail's the insta kill skull, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that video, and I'm just like, wow, people have too much time with their hands. Oh man. But yeah, like hacking in zombies would just be like, you know, oh, I got a bunch of points and I open the map, and then that's really about it. I mean, you're kind of cheating yourself out of the full experience, I think. But
yeah,
you know,
but you do you.
You do you, I guess.
It's the benefit of having a cooperative game mode compared to like ultra competitive, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, that is if they decide to bring new modes or not to zombies, right? If grief is going to be actually make a return or not, that made zombies.
I hope it is. I would love to see grief come back.
Yeah, any game mode would be great. Like any other extra side game mode. Like obviously, it looks like we're getting Dead Ups Arcade 3. That'd be cool.
We are.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. You know, I wouldn't even mind seeing Rush come back from Black Ops 4, but just more polished, because they didn't even they didn't even touch Rush the entire cycle of Black Ops 4.
It didn't get any fixes. Yeah, it's still free hits, isn't it?
The zombies are still ridiculous. The dogs are still stupid on Rush. Like,
although the shtick of Rust, I think they're trying to implement into the main game, right? Like the appeal of Rush was you get started right away. You don't have to pay for certain stuff. They open as you go, right? Just constant action, blah blah blah, right off the bat. Which is, I think, what they're trying to implement into the main zombies mode now, right?
Yeah.
Just to have that action right away feeling.
Right, and I totally get that. I think that's definitely a good thing. It's just, you know, like the fine tuning of, you know, what we've had in like the, you know, classic game mode. You know, didn't really carry over into Rush. You know, it's a little frustrating, but I definitely like to see a more polished version of Rush. Gauntlet wouldn't even be a bad thing to see come back either, but you know, don't give us a sticker when we.
I don't know about you guys, but for me, the biggest thing for Gauntlet was don't make Easter egg steps included in Gauntlet achievements, simply because if you play with people that don't really know the Easter egg, then you're screwed. Like you can't do it at all. Like
definitely make a good point.
If I play, my friends like they're not going to sit down and watch a half-an-hour guide on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah.
They just aren't. Like that's just not the way they think. So if one person knows how to do it, it's trying to wrangle like rabid dogs of trying to get other people to fix stuff, right? So if you're playing like the Dead of the Night or the Ancient Evil Gauntlet, you're basically blocked at a certain level because you're not going to be able to do these steps with people, which just ruin the experience. So make it challenge based, not Easter egg based. If they bring back Gauntlet,
I think it should be more like what you as a player can do, like getting headshots or getting certain like body shots, like I don't know, maybe defend off
weapon, right?
Yeah, defend off a certain area for like a minute or something, like just stuff that isn't like you don't need to know how to do it, but it's shown to you on screen. Because you know, I tried to do the Voyage one, right? And it's like what map was it? The one where you had to build the shield, and it's like I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to build the shield in this map. Yeah, I'm not gonna look up a tutorial like to find them either. I'm just not gonna play this. I'll come off it.
Which if we as seasoned zombies players are going then being like, screw this, man. What do you think anybody else that's a casual player trying to mode is going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So like it instantly just shreds off like a huge portion of the player base that'll ever play the mode to like the very tippity top of the zombies player base, which just makes it pointless from a development standpoint because you're now investing time and resources into
and there's something no one's playing. You're not making any money off this.
Yeah, and it just has generally small appeal to begin with, right?
Yeah.
You know the thing that always was weird to me, how they added the hard mode on Simple Gauntlet and then no other hard mode.
Yeah, that was weird.
You know, and like the hard mode Gauntlet is one of those things that you guys are talking about where you just no one plays that, and no one wants to deal with the hard mode Gauntlet. The Voyage of Despair Gauntlet's already a pain in the ass because the Voyage of Despair is in a good map. Why would I want to do the hard mode Gauntlet on that?
Yeah.
Like. The exact reason why on my channel it's 1.15 million Twitch channel points. It's like totally out of reach.
You gotta suffer somehow, I guess, for that amount of channel points. That's for sure.
Exactly.
Well, it also they try to introduce difficulty right into zombies too with the using health as the modifier. But the thing is, of course, like if you're someone like me that likes to play pubs to get gameplay and things like that. No one's playing any other difficulty but the regular.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to find anybody. So, like, that kind of ruins that. But
I was thinking to myself as well, right? You know how you could change difficulties in zombies before? Do you think they do that again?
Black Ops 2 they could, right?
Yeah, Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 4, right? Like, you could change the difficulty. Do you think that's a good option? Or do you think they have one difficulty set so they can really, like, optimize how the game will play out with certain things? And then...
I like different difficulties, honestly. Like I hop on hardcore sometimes just because that's how I like playing that way.
It's fun,
as well. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely think I'd like to see difficulties come back.
Yeah, I think the main focus should be regular, and then once they've decided that, then they can add in easy, hard. That's probably the way they went with Black Ops 4, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if there's one difficulty set for any kind of public playlists or any kind of public thing that you're doing with zombies. But if you're playing on private, maybe introduce pseudo. What do they call it? Modifiers? No, it's not modifiers.
Mutations.
Mutations.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can change. Your own health or something like that to give people a little bit more freedom. But obviously that hasn't been announced yet. If it is.
Yeah, I mean, still, it gives people more. It gives players more ways to play the game. And that's what it comes down to.
That's a good thing.
And that's a good thing.
So you know what? I changed my statement. I want difficulty settings. I think you're right. It's more is more ways to play. So I just feel like as well, I don't know. If they have one difficulty to work off.
Yeah.
And then they could bounce stuff out. Yeah.
But I also feel like with them letting you basically have any weapon you want going into zombies, that's different from, like, I know people are saying, well, you can bring really good weapons to start with in Black Ops 4 zombies, right? You can have your SOGs and your whatever, your MOGs and whatever you want to bring in. But you've got to be a certain level in zombies in order to actually bring those in. So if you're a new player, you're starting with a pistol, right?
Exactly.
Now, with the whole combined progress theme that we're going for in Cold War, if you're a multiplayer guy wanting to play zombies for the first time, you can start with your AR and your whatever secondary weapon you want, be already a decent level, so you hopefully can unlock certain things to give you a competitive advantage and play with people that play zombies regularly.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, so it lowers the barrier of entry, which is a good thing without changing the difficulty, which is very important.
Yeah.
Absolutely agreed. A lot of upside, a lot of potential for Cold War, as what the bottom line is at the end of the day, man. And, I'm really looking forward to it. Can it be November? Can it be November 13th?
Come faster, please.
Come faster, please. I need the game.
Yeah.
But let's see what the chat was saying real quick. Voyage of Despair, Hard Gauntlet, I found more enjoyable than the regular version. Well, to each their own.
Yeah.
Essex, oof. Yeah, those are big oofs on the gauntlet there. I think they're trying to focus on replayability through game mechanics instead of just all the game modes that Black Ops 4. I'm upset that those like zombies of Prestige will be leaving. I mean, I like Prestige and whatnot, but I think it's time for that universal ranking thing, and I think that's definitely a good thing to add.
Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm the kind of guy that even in multiplayer where I never prestige just because I don't want to work my way through unlocking attachments and
I
weapons
get
again.
that.
So all my zombies games I've ever played, I've never prestiged once. Now I can keep leveling up, and it's kind of so I guess it depends on your play style, right? If you're someone that likes
Exactly.
prestige and likes that mechanic, I can see why you kind of be disappointed getting away with it. Someone like me personally, I'm excited I can still ranking up without losing all my progress, it feels like.
Totally.
It's going to be good as well to rank up a gun in zombies and then be able to use it in multiplayer and not have to play through games of multiplayer to be able to use it.
Yeah. Or if you're someone like me that just doesn't have any interest in playing like the competitive multiplayer modes, if they have more on arcade-based modes like Infected or something like that, then I can already have some kind of weapons loadouts going in to play that, which is more appealing to me personally.
Yeah, I love Infected. I think, to be honest, the last good Infected was probably Ghosts. Like, Ghost was, like, multiplayer was not good, right? But, like, the Infected was good because there was camping spots and low health. So you would survive really long.
And especially with Cold War seeming more arcade-based, quote-unquote, than Modern Warfare was, which isn't to everybody's cup of tea, and I understand that. Hopefully, they maybe delve into those more arcade game modes and things like that, which I think just broaden the appeal of multiplayer to people that don't really play it like me.
Yeah, I can see that.
We've got a very interesting comment in the chat here. We'll touch on this, and then we're going to have to wrap things up here for the day.
Sure.
But do you think Easter eggs will be more core gameplay or still more half and half like usual? I think it'll still be more half and half personally, because I think that formula works. But what do you guys think about that?
Do you mean like if like an objective pops up on screen and it tells you what to do, sort of thing? Like where?
Yeah,
it's not finding out what to do. The game's telling you what to do.
Yeah, like kind of like the World War II system, maybe, is what I'm kind of getting the vibe off of this.
I think the World War II system for the first map was the best Easter egg method of delivery that we've ever had in zombies mode. That it enables people that don't do Easter eggs, that don't want to look up guides on YouTube and watch them, like my friends, of being able to do objectives in a map towards an ending without actually having to look up those guides, while still enabling people that do like that kind of stuff to go the extra mile and find out that secret stuff. It's the best of both worlds that they did once and they never have done it again, and I don't know why.
It's a shame as well, because it was a really good system.
It was the best of both worlds. Right? If you're in there with games of people that don't do Easter eggs, they can have the feeling of an Easter egg without actually but there's people, of course, that want to find out like the real ending. There's an appeal for that too. That's a genuine appeal. That was there for just that map and never again, and it's really disappointing. I was really sad when I saw the rest of World War II, even though you can criticize it that they didn't do that for the rest of the maps. They did it for the first one and never again, which is just really sad. But if they're gonna if they're gonna take anything from that game that Sledgehammer worked on, and I think is working,
it would have to be that.
It should be that, man. If they're taking specialists from that game, basically, put that into Cold War 2 to broaden the appeal even more.
Yeah.
Why not, right? I mean, like literally, at the end of the day, it's like, why not do that?
Yeah, makes sense.
Or should they do finding Easter egg hard in the beginning, and after the community found the Easter egg, they give this World War II? What do you think of that? I think I would still have to agree with COD Zombies HQ here on this one, where you jump into the game and it gives the new player the feeling of they're doing the Easter egg, and they're contributing more to the map than they would have beforehand. I don't think you should have to beat the Easter egg the first time to get the notebook or to get the part list or like whatever that system was in World War II, whatever they called it. But that's excuse me, that's definitely what I think about that.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a system for them to change in Cold War, if they're broadening the reach with their seems to thematically fit with their combining progress and starting with loadouts, making Easter eggs more accessible, or at least quote unquote objective Easter eggs, making them more accessible and readily available for new players to see what they have to do and do it in a zombies environment, that's something I think that would be just great that they should do.
Yeah.
But we haven't had any indication that that's in the game, unfortunately. Not from the leaks, not from the official reveals. So we can dream. We can hope.
We can dream.
Yeah.
I think the boss fights define for most people the quality of the Easter egg. It can. I think a lot of people will, be excited for the boss fight. They'll be excited or not excited for the boss fight, because I know a lot of people like the Nikolai boss fight in Gorod Krovi. The Keeper boss fight in the Horizon Drac is my favorite personally.
Yeah, I think that's the most epic one we've seen.
Yeah.
So I think, it can, the boss fight, define the Easter egg for a lot of people, because then they'll be like, well, is it worth me doing the Easter egg only for me to die to a really shitty boss that I don't like?
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it can definitely define it. But yeah, Easter egg steps I feel are more important than boss fights, because having boring steps leading up to the boss fight isn't fun. Like for me, GK boring and Nikolai as well. I'm not a huge fan of the Gorod Krovi Easter egg, but a lot of the steps they make sense. I just hate the escort steps on the Gorod Krovi Easter egg.
I think before we wrap up, I think that Gorod Krovi's Easter egg feels like the formula they do for it feels quite similar to Blood's Easter egg, where there's there's how you get the trophies, right? In Blood, it's completing the things around the map sort of thing. There's 5 of them. Like you have the bit before the sort of fetching bit starts, and then you go do your trophy bit, and then you'll have like a few more things after it. I'm pretty sure, like a few things, right? And then you can get put into that boss fight.
Those Easter eggs are very, very similar, right? You brought that up. It's true.
Yeah.
They're formatted.
I don't like Gorod's Easter egg, to be honest. I think it's quite just bad. I like the boss fight and I like the map, but the Easter egg's just I wouldn't go on it to have fun.
I can see that for sure. Yeah,
definitely. Gorod Krovi's a fun map. The Easter egg kind of tedious.
Yeah.
But ladies and gentlemen, I think we had a lot of really good topics to talk about today on the podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching today's episode, and again, special thank you to Cods for coming on the podcast. I think it's a great time.
Yeah, I had a fun time, guys. I love talking zombies. It's always good to do, talk about what you're passionate about with people that feel the same way. So I'm excited to see what you guys are gonna do next, and keep watching.
I appreciate that.
That means the absolute world to us.
But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Or actually, let me. I'm gonna do your voice again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching today's podcast. If you did enjoy and you haven't already, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're a brand new viewer here on YouTube, and if you want to, follow me right here on Twitch so you don't miss another live stream.
It's beautiful. 10 out of 10.
But anyways, yeah. In all seriousness, thank you guys so much for watching. And we'll see you guys next. Peace.
Goodbye.